All right, ready to ditch the daily grind and escape to someplace exotic. Picture this. Pristine beaches, volcanic landscapes, maybe even a giant tortoise or two. We're going island hopping today. My recent trip to Reunion, Mauritius, and Rodrigues in the Indian Ocean.
And what's cool about this deep dive is we're using your actual travel notes, not some generic brochure.
Yeah, no sugarcoating here. It's like we're reliving the trip together, getting those authentic you had to be there details. So think of this as your personal travel guide, without the jet lag. Our adventure started in Lisbon.
A quick layover in Paris, I imagine?
Quick flight to Paris, then hopped on French Bee straight to Reunion Island.
You didn't just rush through, though. You spent a whole day in Saint-Denis. What stood out about that first taste of Reunion?
Honestly, like stepping into a postcard. The Creole architecture, stunning. Those colorful buildings, intricate balconies. It's this blend of French and tropical that just oozes charm. But we'll circle back to Reunion later. Next up, 3 days in Mauritius, starting with Le Morne Brabant. And this is where my inner history buff went wild.
The Mont Brabant. More than just a pretty mountain, right? It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and for a powerful reason.
Exactly. This was a refuge for runaway slaves, les marrons, back in the 18th and 19th centuries, using those steep slopes and dense forests to build hidden settlements, resisting oppression, fighting for their freedom.
Powerful imagery. The natural beauty of the place must add to the emotional impact.
Absolutely. Even the contrast between the beaches on either side of the peninsula is striking. On the west, Le Morne Beach, sheltered from the wind, calm turquoise waters, perfect for swimming, relaxing.
Whereas the eastern side, exposed to the open ocean, totally different vibe.
2 worlds in one destination. After Le Morne, we headed to Chamarel, known for its dramatic landscapes. Had lunch at Le Chamarel Panoramic Restaurant. Views were incredible.
Savoring delicious food, overlooking miles of scenery.
But the highlight of Chamarel has to be the 7-colored earth. It's this geological wonder. Red, brown, violet, green, blue, purple, and yellow swirled together in these undulating dunes.
Wow, all those colors, Mother Nature's artistry at its finest. How did it even...
It's the volcanic activity and different mineral compositions creating this visual spectacle. And just a short distance from the 7-colored earth, another natural wonder. Chamarel Waterfall plunges over a cliff, cascading 100 meters into this lush forest below. The sheer volume of water, the sound, mesmerizing.
From the power of a waterfall to the tranquility of the Sir Siusagar Rambulam Botanical Garden, quite a contrast.
This garden, established in 1735, is one of the oldest in the world, filled with fascinating flora. The giant baobabs were incredible. Those iconic trees with their massive trunks can live for thousands of years. But the detail that really stuck with me, the giant water lilies. Their leaves can grow up to 3 meters wide. Imagine floating on the water, almost like stepping stones. We did spend some time relaxing on the beach at Grand Bay, soaking up the island vibes.
Grand Bay, known for its soft white sand and the calm, clear water.
Perfect for unwinding. But we couldn't resist the open water for too long. Next up, boat trip from Blue Bay Beach to El Ocerche, a small island famous for its lagoon.
This wasn't just any boat ride.
Not at all. We saw coral reefs teeming with life, El Ofer with its historic lighthouse, even the GRC waterfall where the Grand River Southeast meets the ocean. El Ocerche, often called the Paradise Islands, those pristine beaches and crystal clear waters are hard to beat. And on the way back, a stop at a site with immense spiritual significance. Grand Basin, the most important Hindu site in Mauritius.
The Shiva Lord Temple, a place that draws thousands of pilgrims, especially during Shivaratri.
The scale of the statues there is breathtaking. A 33-meter-tall statue of Shiva, another of Durga Ma Bhavani towering over the landscape. And that marks the end of our time in Mauritius. Next, a smaller, lesser-known island, Rodrigues, for 3 days of exploration.
Rodrigues, known for its laid-back atmosphere, untouched beauty. Quite different from the energy of Mauritius.
It really is. Our first stop, Port Mathurin, the island's capital. It's this charming village with a relaxed pace of life. We wandered through the market, admired the colonial architecture, just soaked it all in. One tip though, things close early in Port Mathurin. Around 4 p.m., plan accordingly.
Good to know. But you weren't in Port Mathurin long, were you? You ventured into a realm where time seems to stand still. The Francois Legar Reserve.
This reserve, all about conserving local flora and fauna, and the stars of the show, giant tortoises.
Rodrigues was once teeming with them. Early settlers described walking on their shells, over 100 steps without touching the ground. Sadly, due to overhunting and habitat loss, they almost went extinct.
But thanks to conservation efforts, they're making a comeback in the reserve. Incredible to see these gentle giants roaming freely in their natural habitat.
A reminder of our responsibility to protect these species and their ecosystems. Did you explore more of the reserve?
We did. We went into Patati Cave, one of the many limestone caves formed by the island's volcanic origins.
Those limestone formations, sculpted by water over millions of years, what a story they tell.
After the cave, we took a scenic drive around the island, ended up at a beach with a kite surfing school.
It's becoming quite popular, Rodrigue. The consistent winds, those beautiful lagoons.
But for an unforgettable day, I recommend Saint-François Beach. But the lunch we had at Chez Robert et Solange was the real highlight. Charming little beach shack, served delicious seafood. The octopus was fantastic.
Fresh local cuisine with a view doesn't get much better.
After lunch, we hiked the Trou d'Argent Trail, a coastal path that leads to 3 secluded coves: Anse Philibert, Trou d'Argent, and Grand Anse.
Each cove with its own character, I imagine.
Anse Philibert, considered the most beautiful, stunning view from above. Trou d'Argent, silver hole, shrouded in pirate lore, tales of buried treasure. And Grand Anse, the largest, perfect spot for swimming and relaxation.
Trou d'Argent Trail, scenic beauty, local legends, pure relaxation.
It really was. And with that, our time on Rodrigue ended. We flew back to Reunion Island for the final 3 days of our trip.
Having already experienced Saint-Denis, you chose Saint-Gilles-les-Bains as your base this time.
Right, Saint-Gilles-les-Bains, a coastal town known for its beaches, nightlife. It's close to some of Reunion Island's most stunning natural attractions, perfect for both adventurers and those who prefer a slower pace. And for our first adventure, we went all out, helicopter tour.
Now that's the way to see Reunion's dramatic landscapes. You flew over the 3 cirques, Moffat, Celisy, and Salas.
Each one a massive basin carved by erosion over millions of years, home to lush forests, towering waterfalls, remote villages. We also flew over the Piton de la Fournaise, one of the world's most active volcanoes, seeing it from above with its fiery presence. Breathtaking.
I can only imagine. Soaring above those volcanic peaks, gazing down at the rugged terrain, vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. Quite a contrast to Rodrigue, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. But we didn't just experience Reunion from the air. We hiked to the top of Piton Maido for a sunrise spectacle.
Piton Maido, at 2,200 meters above sea level, offers incredible views of Cirque de Moffat, a breathtaking caldera.
Just be sure to dress warmly. It gets chilly up there, especially at sunrise.
Good advice. And from the heights of Piton Maido, you descended to the coast, heading for Étang-Salé-les-Bains and its unique geological formation, Gouffre de l'Étang Salé.
That's where you see the raw power of the ocean. Narrow chasm carved into volcanic rock. Waves crash with incredible force, sending plumes of spray high into the air.
A dramatic contrast to the serene beauty of Ermitage-les-Bains Beach, where you spent a relaxing afternoon, swimming in the crystal clear waters.
The perfect way to unwind after all that exploring. Reunion really is a land of contrasts. Lush rainforests, dramatic cliffs, pristine beaches, and fiery volcanoes, all in a relatively small area.
And for your final day on Reunion Island, you set out to experience the iconic Piton de la Fournaise.
We didn't have time for a full hike to the summit, but we made it to the viewing platform to gaze out at this majestic volcano.
Even from a distance, impressive. The surrounding landscape, known as Plaine de Sables, almost lunar, vast expanse of volcanic rock and ash.
A reminder that these islands are constantly evolving, shaped by powerful forces. But we've only scratched the surface of what these islands have to offer.
Speaking of adrenaline, you did mention this wasn't about extreme adventures. But even at a relaxed pace, you found some hidden gems.
We did, and that's what I loved about island hopping. The variety. You could have a day packed with activities, then just chill on a secluded beach the next.
You know, something that often gets overlooked is the food. But your notes are filled with culinary delights.
Food's huge for me, experiencing a new culture. How can you visit Rodrigue and not try the octopus at Chez Robert et Solange? That little beach shack, a must visit, and those panoramic views from Le Chamarel restaurant in Mauritius. Talk about a feast for the senses.
Not just the food itself, though, is it? It's the atmosphere, the company, the whole experience. And speaking of experiences, important to remember the impact our travels have.
So true. Easy to get caught up in the excitement and forget our responsibility as travelers.
Especially with islands, such delicate ecosystems. You touched on this, the Francois-Legoat Reserve and its work with giant tortoises.
That reserve is a shining example of successful conservation. It's inspiring, seeing the dedication to restoring endangered species and protecting those habitats.
Reinforces that our travel choices can have a positive impact. And it's not just minimizing negative impact, it's about choices that benefit local communities and the environment.
Supporting local businesses, respecting traditions, small actions, big difference.
As we wrap up our deep dive into island hopping in the Indian Ocean, I want to leave everyone with this. These islands are more than just destinations, they're living ecosystems. Each one with its own history, culture, and natural beauty that deserves our respect.
So as you plan your adventure, remember to approach these places with curiosity, a sense of responsibility, and a willingness to connect with the local people and the environment.
Let our conversation inspire you to create a journey that's both personally fulfilling and leaves a positive impact. Who knows, maybe you'll be sharing your own travel tales someday, inspiring others to embark on their own island hopping adventures.
Happy travels.